I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage. Let's talk about the increasingly popular book written about 100 years ago, The KYBALION. Its subtitle is Hermetic Philosophy, and its author is Three Initiates. And specifically, let's talk about why the book is fake. Or more specifically, why to be careful about its contents. Before I continue, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, then take a moment right now to do it. Now is your chance. That way you can also activate the notification bell feature and be apprised of our new uploads. Also, immediately below the media player window that you're looking at right now, you'll see the thumb up icon. Please click on that to instantly and easily share the joy of this channel with others. And thirdly, a little further down in the video description area, you'll find a donation by PayPal information. Please make a note of it. The KYBALION. The KYBALION, like I said, is increasingly becoming popular among seekers of truth, seekers of occult information, seekers of esoteric wisdom, New Agers, and the like. The book, written by three initiates, well, we know who one of them was. It was William Walker Atkinson of the New Thought movement about 100 years ago. Whether there were any other authors, I don't know. I'm not sure that anybody's really sure, but there is suggestion that it's possible that one of the other two was some guy in India, some yogi type, I don't know, some Swami monk or something, I don't know, but I've not found anything definitive about that, but William Walker Atkinson was one of them, and he was pretty good at changing his name, using various pen names. Swami Panchadasi, Yogi Ramacharaka, Theron Q. Dumont, Megas Incognito, for God's sakes. Incognito. He used that. He changed his name to suit the contents of the books, or the series of books that he was writing. Megas Incognito is way off. It's neither his real name, nor does it have anything to do with Swamihood or Yogihood. Theron Q. Dumont didn't have anything to do with those really either, but at least it was a plausible name of the author, a real name, right? But Megas Incognito? That was way off. Way out there, man. Incognito. Oh, my goodness. Well, that was the book, The Secret Doctrine of the Rosicrucians, which was really off the main track for him, too. The content of the book. So, I mean, it really was not a New Thought movement type book. So, why have anybody know he wrote it? Why not just make us Incognito, which is about as obscure in meaning as is Three Initiates. But it does so happen that the contents of the KYBALION is New Thought movement talk. And it was rather popular talk in the New Thought movement, and it showed up this kind of talk. The principles, the 7 principles laid out in the KYBALION, this was common talk in the New Thought movement. Other authors wrote about the same sorts of things, the same stuff, same basic stuff. Well, I guess William Walker Atkinson wanted his book to stand out in the front to be the one, in the bookstore window, to be the one that sells more, to be more popular than the others, make more money, or, I don't know, boost his ego more, something, I don't know, be more popular than the rest. So let's just make up 3 initiates as the author. Wait, what about all the references in the book, though, in the KYBALION to the arcanes? Some ancient group of people known as the arcanes, or the arcana, like the 7 principles spoken of, and the axioms or maxims that they are derived from, or that sum them all up in a nutshell, given in the book, the KYBALION. The arcana, the basic, the principles. What about that? And what about whenever the maxims or axioms are given in the book, the KYBALION, then after the little maxim or the quip, it cites as its source the KYBALION. Like, way back then, there was a KYBALION thing. What about all that? Well, in the book, the KYBALION, when it refers to the KYBALION, cites the KYBALION as its source, it's citing the author. It's citing, the author. Or it's just referring to itself. There's no KYBALION, other KYBALION, for it to be citing, really. It's self-referring. That's all it is. It's kind of a joke, right? And the 7 principles, like mentalism, planes of correspondence, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of vibration. Aren't those the essential components of Hermetic philosophy? That you're supposed to figure out how to combine and relate to one another in different ways and apply to your life and have miraculous results. The miraculous results reportedly attributed to, the ancient alchemists, hermeticists, or hermeticists. No, they're not. But there were 4 arcana. And this dates all the way back to the first, the oldest reliable translation of the Emerald Tablet that we have. It was the first Greek translation. The original was gone. And in that translation, it just so happens to have been written by 3 Alexandrian alchemists. And I believe it would be fair, that they'd be called initiates. Alexandrian alchemists, initiates into the alchemical science and art and philosophy. 3 Alexandrian alchemists. 3 initiates. Whoa! That sounds pretty contrived, doesn't it? The initiates part, the 3 initiates part, associated with the KYBALION. But there weren't 7 arcana. There were 4. And they weren't principles. They were chemical compounds. Let's see. What were they? Vitriol, Natrol, pulvis, solaris, and Vulgaris Hepatis. Those were the arcana. And the Hermetic experiment, the great experiment, involved combining them in different ways, doing things with them in different ways, to come up with those results. There was one tie-in a sense. You know, the Emerald Tablet speaks of that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below. And it was stated a little differently in various subsequent translations, like no, never mind. It's a common one, but it's slipping my mind right now. It still has the words above and below. As above, so below. As below, so above. There it is. Just shortened up a little bit. Well, yeah, and that is in the KYBALION. That's the only connection. And it certainly makes a person who wants the KYBALION to be some arcane shit or hermetic stuff. It's very easy to then conclude that it all correlates. But really, it's what a convenient way, right, to make it seem like the KYBALION is an expose, a reveal of the ancient philosophy and art, the great experiment of the alchemists, right? But, you know, things like a polarity, rhythm, it's not too hard to find those when you're looking for them in pretty much everything. So it's all just pretty much trivial stuff. It has nothing to do with Hermeticism. No more than do his three initiates have to do with the writing of the first Greek translation of the Emerald Tablet. Okay? So, the big danger here, though, with this deception, with respect to you, is not so much in being deceived, regardless of your so-called research into the matter. Oh! Okay. It is in assuming that working of the 7 principles in the KYBALION are going to produce the reported results that the alchemists, at the ancient alchemists found when working with those 4 chemical compounds. Now, what was I going to say here? Oh, yeah, in the KYBALION, you will find references, as I alluded to earlier here at the outset, references to the KYBALION. When an axiom or maxim is provided, then its cited source is the KYBALION. As though, let's say you were reading the KYBALION, okay? And then you see in there, the KYBALION. The only thing that's referring to, folks, is the book you have in your hand. It's just self-referential. There was no other KYBALION. In all, it's a deception. Now, there's nothing wrong with the content of the KYBALION itself. Yeah, it's fine, you know. It's new thought movement thinking. But it's not Hermetic philosophy thinking. The KYBALION is not Hermetic philosophy, and it really doesn't have any connection with Hermetic philosophy. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it's all pretty much just trivial. I mean, there's nothing profound about it. Really. But if you already have figured all this out that I've just said, the Kybalion deception, and you still like the content of the book for its own sake, in its own right, that's fine. But now bear this in mind. William Walker Atkinson then reworked the whole thing and put it in another book, The Arcane Teaching. Again, it's not arcane. No more arcane than is the Kybalion. But, by the way, do you know what arcane means? It's not even really ever said in the Kybalion or the Arcane Teaching. No. The arcana were those four chemical compounds. That's what that word refers to. They were the arcana. Together, they were the arcanum. This means the arcanes were those, I guess, who if that was a word, really, who were the alchemists. Okay. All right. Well, where was I going with that last part? Now, the danger is in assuming that the results are going to be yours. The results of the ancient alchemical art and science, are going to be the results you will get by studying the Kybalion and learning those 7 principles and putting them together for yourself, in your life. Well, they're not the same thing, and the results are not going to be the same thing. And no. Okay, but he rewrote all of that. He reorganized it, put it into better words in his later book called The Arcane Teaching, and then its sequel, The Arcane Formula. So in all, the Kybalion is pretty much just in no way is it all that it's hyped up to be, all that it hypes itself up to be. All right? That's the truth about it. So be careful about the Kybalion, okay? Don't be so duped, man. All right, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it. Get yourself notified of new uploads. Thumb up this thing and donate, please. All donations would be seriously, bigly appreciated. I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage Institute. Be well.